Stand to, mech warriors, and welcome back to another episode of RogueTech as we continue the campaigns of Howl's Harrows. And the last time, the Racketar finally made its debut, spitting out 12 shells of AC-5 ammunition in amazing style. And I actually think that it's one of the better designs we've done. Okay, it's not amazing, but it's a 70-ton mech that is basically spitting out the amount of firepower that some people have designed much larger mechs to do. Granted, it has an interference engine, but you know what? I think it's going to work out just fine. However, we are a little bit low on cash. I have several of the mechs currently being built, so we need to kind of build up our reserves once again, and the best way to do that is to go for salvage. So with that in mind, test drive. We've come across the latest pride and joy of the Lyrid Commonwealth, a Mauler MALKO. Our scientists have been reverse engineering the monster, but now they say they need real battle data before they can continue. We'd like you to provide that data. We've located a pirate lance to use as a guinea pig. Take the now recently modified Fafnir 5 down to the planet and eliminate the lance. Needless to say, we don't have another one of these, so it's imperative that you return it intact. And if you could actually upgrade that Mauler to a Fafnir, that'd be really cool. This is going to be 417 priority salvage, 440,400 Seabills. There we go. We knew we would get down for 3 skulls. Not exactly the hardest mission ever, but we're only bringing 3 or 4 mechs to the table, so let's go drop in and say hi. So slamming down hard in our drop pods. Let's see if we're not stuck on anything, hopefully. And we are down, ready to rock and roll. So let us take a look at our faction. We have, of course, the Mauler KO. I had already seen it in the mech lab, but apparently its guns are just a wee bit off. Gonna have to tell somebody about that. Has a pair of LBX AC-10 autocannons, 2 ER large lasers, and 2 LRM-20. So it's actually a fairly solid long-range fire support build. And unlike the current LBX shotguns that are currently in heavy metal, in RogueTech we have the option of either firing them as shotguns by firing cluster shells or firing them as a normal autocannon by using slug shells because we can swap ammo types. I'm not salty at all. The Jester, of course, is in Kerensky's stick, a mech that needs a little bit of modification. The Gauss rifle needs to have an additional ton of ammunition in order to work properly, but hey, we'll get to that. Mockingbird, of course, in the Catapult Merc 3, mainly because it is capable of overheating mechs, and this is a perfect opportunity to cook people. And Howl, of course, in the Gauss Wolf, because, well, this is possibly the most solid design we've got. So, with that all out of the way, let us go locate our pirate forces. They are way off over here, a little bit of a travel. We get to commute through the city. This time we're going to hopefully be able to do a bit of a sightseeing tour along the way. After all, if you have time, there are quite a few buildings in the city that you should take the moment to take a look at. All kinds of advertisements and crazy things that you'll not want to miss, as long as you're coming into the city for this particular reason alone. If you came to the city for a specific battle, on the other hand, well, move as fast as you can and hope that you don't get hit too much. Or, actually, no, definitely hope that you don't get hit too much because it's rather spectacular when the buildings collapse around you. Oh, that's one of the best things about fighting in urban maps. When you're dealing with that, you never feel bad when suddenly the entire city is just sort of falling around you because it looks so cool. And most of our people are actually rolling really well on trying to move on forward. The Mauler, not so much, but that's kind of to be expected. After all, it is an assault mech. It's a 90-tonner. We actually have a Mauler in our Apollo's Vipers campaign. We have a Gaussler, is what we have renamed it to, because it has 4 Gauss rifles on board as well as a single ER medium laser. It used to have 2. We found there was an insufficient amount of ammunition, so we pulled one off and, well, threw on another ton of ammunition because it desperately needed it. A part of that, though, is because we're still running a whole bunch of single-ton ammos instead of the double-ton extra boxes, which give you 25% more ammunition. If we could manage to just get a few more of those, we could actually take that ton off and get the ER medium laser back, because we'd probably get an entire additional ton's worth of ammunition just through the weight savings and gains alone on that one. At least that's my belief. I could be wrong on that one. I hope I'm not, because I really would like to have a bit more of a symmetrical design. I kind of prefer them. Apparently, I'm being pinged, but I'm going to ignore them, and if they keep bugging me about it, I'm going to continue to ignore them. So continue to rush along the way. We'll see if we can't get ourselves all the way up on top of the mountain, or rather the up ramp to the location, and we'll continue to roll the Gausser along. Managing to actually keep up for... Oh no, that's Kerensky's stick. No wonder it's keeping up. Kerensky's stick has a fairly decent sized fusion core inside of it, despite being a 75-ton mech. It was very deliberate in that I will go handle that. So give me just a moment, and I will be ready. Alright, New mission. It just so happens that this drop zone happens to be right outside my apartment building. See, I clearly live right here, as you can see, and the people around here have been ringing my doorbell, so it's time for us to go on in and make sure that they stop doing that, because that's getting to be a little bit irritating. So, yeah, let's continue to move the mechs as fast as we possibly can, because if that doorbell continues to go off, well, I'm just afraid that we're going to have to flatten the whole building just to make sure. So, waiting for the enemies to attempt to ring my doorbell again. Apparently they brought along a Centurion, a light street carrier. That would explain the doorbell ringing. They're aiming right at the little button that happens for that, so we're going to make sure that we knock them out right quick and fast. Also, light street carriers happen to be really good at breaking light and fast mechs. We don't exactly have light mechs, but we do have quite a few decently speeded ones. I just realized that apparently we have the shader issue that occurs. There are, as far as I can tell, 2 visual glitches that sort of came hand in hand when Urban Warfare got released, and one of them is the fact that sometimes your mechs turn purple. Why they do this, it's a texture fails to load, I believe, is the right answer on that. And the other one is where the effects will not have a particular layer that they're supposed to have, so explosions will look very red, rather than having that nice bloom effect that we come to expect and love from things exploding, as we often see in video games. So they tend to crop up on occasion. They're definitely vanilla bugs. You'll run into them all over the place in vanilla. They happen to show up in RogueTech as well, because RogueTech has a really gargantuan library of awesome stuff that it tries to cram into the game at the same time. So that's an interesting bit. Street carrier on the move, doesn't have a line of sight. Street missiles, of course, do not fire indirectly, which can work out very much to your advantage should you set things up properly. Because if you can just sort of dive around buildings and wait until you have a turn to slip out from behind the building to shoot him, you can do a tremendous amount of damage. Got a hunchback moving on the way as well. It looks like they're responding to my complaint, because they have now realized that they've got to get into a fight really gosh darn quick, or things are going to go south, well, really fast. So we got a hunchback, a street carrier, as well as a Centurion. There's at least one more unit out there. I've never run into a situation where it's just 3. It can be 5, it can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 6 per, but it cannot be 3 as far as I'm aware. Actually, no, that's not true at all. Holy crap, I am completely full of it, because we've run into missions before. Generally, they're like 1 and 1.5 scale missions, where you will only run into exactly 3 units. It'll be a 33%. And we've also run into ones where they're singletons. So yeah, interesting thing. Apparently you can run into singletons and duels and pretty much anything. I've never seen anything bigger than 3 though. They're bigger than 6 though. Alright, let's see if I can get that sad line of sight that I saw without having to get too close, because I have a little bit of a minimum range problem. You see the Gauss rifles, they're shy. If you're too close to them, they don't like it and they want you to move away. Apparently that's not going to be the case. We're going to have to shoot him dead in the face. Hi, my buddy Centurion. And we managed to nail him with 1 and then brought down the house. So there goes that neighborhood. The house has been partially brought down. We have identified the 4th member of the band, so clearly base is currently being brought to you by Yellow Jacket, which is really good basis, by the way, because he happens to bring generally really good guns to the table. Not always like stunningly, stupidly powerful guns, but generally pretty good. Also, we've managed to open up a line of sight, which I'm going to take advantage of. Hi, my buddy. Hi, my friend. Hi, my palzo. Incendiaries, I think... I have 6 rounds of shooting with incendiaries. You're a Centurion. You're not anything special in the terms of Centurion. You know what? I'm going to bank. I'm going to bank on you being better later on. So I'm actually going to go full-on Warlord to increase our accuracy on this one for a 71% chance. And then we're going to hit him with the Gauss rifle as well. So let's flood him with fire. Oh! Oh, it's just beautiful. I should have actually tried to save him, because that was a DNI cockpit that just exploded. Oh, he had an Omni. Okay, so in fact we ran into an Omni? Oh, darn it, we just ran into the 55-ton Omni mech version of the Centurion. Well, now I feel dumb, because that was a great opportunity to get some interesting gear. It didn't look like it, I didn't assume it, but I probably should have after I saw the street carrier. Because that's advanced tech. You've probably got a heavy Gauss rifle or something, maybe a rack. If we're lucky, it's a Risk Rack 5, and we can rob one of those, because it's reasonably light equipment that we can use really, really well. So we'll probably come up the hill on this one, and we will burn this sucker down. The street carrier is not going to have a chance to kill anybody. But the Gauss Wolf is about to take a couple of missiles. I can't... Is that from... Did they seriously equip a Yellow Jacket with missiles? Because if that's the case, I feel really, really sad, because the Yellow Jackets can be amazing, and that's clearly not. Hi, my buddy, my friend, my pal. I am going to show for 2 SRMs. And you know what? I'm going to hit you with the dead fires, because I've got a lot of them, and I think I can punch through your armor if I hit you hard enough. So, grin and bear it if you don't mind, because I'm going to throw the Warlord at you as well. I don't need Warlord when I'm trying to overheat somebody, but when I'm trying to blow somebody up, oh, you best darn believe it. And there we go, no streak carrier to have to deal with. 50% of the enemy force has been defeated, and we've only taken very light damage so far, so we're feeling pretty good about this one. Although the Mauler is not exactly doing a great job of being involved in the combat, we're going to continue to rush over to the side. We've got long range shots on 2, and we're not going to hit that yellow jacket, so we may as well go say hello to the Hunchback. Enjoy the Zimmy's house. Not bad. Alright, Howl can now come screeching around the corner at maximum speed, as she does. Our leader of our company happens to have a little bit of a flair for the dramatic... Oh, and a minefield. 20 damage minefield. That's 40 damage in total, because it does 20 damage to each leg, and her legs are particularly vulnerable. So that yellow jacket is carrying a mine carrier? Mine dispenser, that's the word. So that is unfortunate, because we're not going to want to deal with that at all. Let's see if we can't bring Kerensky's stick into the fight. No, it's going to take him at least another turn to get there, but at least he was able to shoot through the corner right there. Jester, of course, our Gunnery 10 pilot, in order to hopefully make it less likely that the weapon systems on board jam, because heavy MRMs actually do jam. Not regularly, but they have the opportunity to do so. So you want to be a little bit careful when using them. You want to make sure you got a gunnery pilot who's sufficiently skilled in order to handle it. The Hunchback running away, but is still going to present a side target. So I'm just going to keep running up to you with gas rifles, and it's eventually going to work, and you're not going to enjoy it. Hopefully he does not dispense any more mines, because, God, that step was painful. 20 damage? We have 90 health in these legs. I gotta do something about that. I probably need to start looking into seeing about managing to get our hands on either some sort of regenerative armor, which we're definitely in the market for, or some form of armor that will grant me enough weight savings to do even more cool stuff. Just gonna keep on running after you. Jamming going down. Hi, my buddy. It looks like you're a disco back. But I don't have accurate information on you just yet. We have managed to blow off his arm, so there's that running for us. And I will sprint around the corner with Mockingbird. Her little tiny mini catapult is going to line up quite nicely on the target. And, I don't think I want to do that. Yeah, we're going to go up to the 61% chance opportunity. It's for less damage, but you know what? It's higher accuracy. And we killed him, I think. Oh yeah, there he goes. Completely down. XL engines, not exactly a safe thing to try and utilize on your mechs, and I don't recommend it, so we'll bring Kerensky's stick around the corner and continue to advance. The Mauler, of course, has a bit more of a trip to make. It's an assault mech, what do you want? It's not going to get anywhere fast, that's not how things work. Also, it's got to get through a forest. Turn slightly, it's an 11% chance of accuracy. Sure, give the gift of love. So here's some missiles for you to enjoy. He doesn't have a lot of missile ammunition, actually. He's only got a couple more rounds of shooting out of those things, and then he's going to be completely bone dry. Are you... Oh, you're going to do this to me on an assassination mission, buddy? Or not on a test drive? Oh, there it is. That's what I want. Alright, Howl, I need you to be lucky. Howl's a lucky girl, what can I tell you? Alright, she managed to knock out the primary target, so that's lovely. We now can... Okay, yep, we can now expect reinforcements to arrive sometime shortly, and they will drop down, and hopefully we can kill them all before they can actually do anything, because we want to steal all their stuff. That's the main reason. Kerensky's stick and the mini-pult are both equipped with a whole bunch of incendiaries and inferno weapons, so they should be able to barbecue whatever they want, because together I think they output like 400-something, almost 400 heat worth of heat, which, you know, is enough to barbecue 2 mechs in one go. Oh no, they're behind us. They're actually, like, right on top of the Mauler. That's not good, actually. Run for it. Although they are going to have to run through a minefield, so that kind of is good on some ways. So we need to make sure, though, that we are there to support as soon as possible. Howl is going to be a little bit further behind, because, you know, Howl was busy dealing with a VTOL who was attempting to be very, very annoying. And Howl... Yeah, I need you to come catch up. Although her weapon systems are pretty well designed in order to sort of handle this long-range engagement, the Gauss rifles kind of go a bit of a long way to help that out. I want to actually spin around in place if at all possible. You know what, that'll be good enough. We'll absorb some damage on the side torso, should be safe. Unless you have an XL engine. I don't think you do, but you might. We got Canopian mechs dropping, really. The Magistracy has decided it wants to get involved, and they've dropped an urban mech, a quick draw, a hunchback, and something else, and I couldn't see the last one in time. Are we about to get assaulted by a Night Star? No, it's a VTOL, and it's going to be a Yellow Jacket. This Yellow Jacket is equipped with a ballistic and 2 missiles, so somebody's going to die. Yeah, the quick draw is a 60-ton heavy. It's basically worthless to us. I wouldn't want to use one, frankly. It's not cool enough of a design for me to want to grab, and I still have flashbacks to Season 1 where we had like 5 of them. And, yeah, I don't feel like utilizing those weapon systems. I'm going to walk on forward, see if I have a... Oh, we have... Is that the yellow jacket line of sight? Yeah, that's the yellow jacket line of sight. Okay, well, in that case... Yeah, I suppose it's my job to shoot down this yellow jacket. Alright, so we're doing... Oh, it's a primitive version light rifle. You're boring. You're also boring. Really, you're all kind of boring. I'm going to shoot down your buddy because, you know, he's here. But just know that you're next. There we go. I thought for a second we were dealing with an AMS, but no, that was not the case. We managed to shoot him down with no problem at all. Of course, it was a primitive yellow jacket, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, urban mech, quick draw, and hunchback. The hunchback, of course, very dangerous, but he's going to move forward and not actually do anything. So Kerensky's stick, well, you are not the most important thing on my list of things to kill. Well, on the list of things to save. So you know what? We're going to warlet it. We're going to continue to use the listen kills for the additional damage and accuracy. And enjoy the dessert, my friend. Oh, we're through already. Although I think, yeah, it's an arm.
Reporting critical hit.
The forward armor of... it's the arm in both torsos, holy crap. We are just a sandblasted machine. The forward arc is the most powerful arc of a hunchback. It is very well armored for its tonnage. The problem with that, though, is it's also quite slow for its tonnage, and even worse, we throw into the things like the fact that it has 25 rear armor, and it's very vulnerable in the rear, should you manage to get there. Which is why you always want to make sure that you sort of screen your hunchbacks with something else to kind of make sure that they don't get lost and on their own. We're going to make sure we activate, and we're going to go blast the hunchback. Yeah, there goes everything. But he was a bog standard, so I didn't really care. The quick draw will attempt to save purely for a payday, although... Well, the question will be if you survive. Because if you survive, then I'll consider it. But if not, then I'm probably going to kill you. I do have hot loads, but I don't have any other additional ammunition types. I'll shut off the LRMs because I don't want to sort of waste all of them. I will sensor lock down on top of them to support the next round of shooting, because this guy's not going to go anytime soon. But yeah, if you survive this... left torso. Yeah, no real point in saving him, is there? We'll have to hopefully wait for the last round, I suppose. Mockingbird. Oh, crap, Mockingbird can't. Alright, so we're going to set over to our Inferno SRMs. We're going to take aim right at his face, except we can't because we need to slip on through. We'll get right to his side, because why not? I'm not all that worried about his follow-up retaliation. Full-on 78% chance accuracy, and we're just gonna start all the fires. Or, you know, you could crit his center torso. That works, too. Yeah, we'll take it. I believe the final group of enemies, if they show up, is going to show up on this level. So, oh yeah, I forgot. Herbie, where are you?
On my way. Double time.
Urban mech? Where did it go?
Orders.
It was here a minute ago. Do we not have a line of sight on an urban mech? Huh. How do we turn? Is he in a building?
Waiting for orders.
I kind of get the feeling he's in a building. I don't have any line of sight on this target. Is he down there? Maybe. Let's go find out. Holy shoot, those landmines. Alright, still not seeing an urban mech. Oh shoot, should have EWS pinged.
Standing by.
You can, I suppose, run off in this direction, see if you can't find him. Here, little urban mech. You're somewhere out there.
Waiting for orders.
We will find you.
Heading out.
It's only a matter of time. Another 14 damage into the minefield.
Receiving you.
This is rather hilarious and also kind of embarrassing, because somewhere out there an urban mech is currently laughing at us. And I don't know where. He's somewhere. I heard the ping on him.
I'm there. Commander.
I heard the ping, I just don't see him.
On it.
Yeah, no target of any kind. He's got to be in a building, I guess. I don't want to waste ammunition, though.
No problem. On my way.
Bring down the house.
Taking the shot.
Got 6 rounds of shooting of my main weapons these days. So, yeah, somewhere around here. We are being hidden from by an urban mech. This, I suppose, is incredibly thematic, but also really weird. Huh. Flatten that one. Sure, why not? 80 damage? Yeah, don't shoot your autocannons.
Piece of cake.
Just let's just start going on a bit of an urban renewal spree, because somewhere around here is an urban mech. I would like you to reveal yourself to me, little urban mech.
Rolling.
Target? Nope. Well, I guess we bring down another building. Time for a dead fire. Wow, I'm almost out of ammunition. That's lovely. LRMs, standard LRMs. Yeah, bring down the house.
Copy that, Commander.
Another building down. I will flatten every single building on this block. You better believe it.
What's up, boss?
You're still hunting for an urban mech. That's what's up.
Location confirmed.
Don't fire the gas rifles. I know I have 18 rounds of ammunition, but that only means I have 9 rounds of still actual combat out of this thing.
Ready for orders.
And you, I just don't want to waste ammunition on anymore.
Going full throttle.
Where is this stealth evil monster urban mech which is clearly stalking me in ways that I do not yet understand? Yeah, bring down that building as well. I am going to flatten the entire block because apparently that's what I have to do. He was in this area, right? Am I going insane? It's entirely possible, actually. It's depressingly possible, actually. You know what? Multi-target. Let's see if you... We're going to have a competition. See if you can flatten 2 buildings in one time. That's 1. Not quite. I'm moving to the rubble.
Coordinates received.
Howl still has no target.
On my way.
I don't want to auto-complete the mission, but I may end up auto-completing the mission. Because if he's not in this little
That one.
area, then I don't know where he'll be.
Maximum
Because I saw him drop it there. Oh, he's got to be in terrain. He's got to be. Right. So we will resolve this then. We will... somewhere around here. Just want to make sure that I'm not murdering all of my own people. Don't have a target, so I can't kill target. I don't want to kill all. No, I'll resort to that later. Because I don't want to accidentally blow everything up. In case the kill all thing kills all of my people as well. Because that would be particularly bad. Muller, continue your urban renewal spree.
order received.
Yeah, target that. Flatten it.
I'm gonna make the swing. One less structure.
Is he up there? 1, 2, 3, 4. He might be in that building. He's in a building. This much I'm sure of. I just need to figure out which one.
Quick stepping it.
Yeah, you're gonna overheat to find an urban mech, but do it. This is more of a log.
My heat gauge is getting pretty hot. Ready for order.
Yeah, you're fine.
Roger that. Target acquired. One
Okay, I think we've almost pretty much worn out our options here.
Standing by. Full speed, no target.
Because I'm not seeing anything.
Target confirmed.
We've literally flattened this entire block.
Boom.
Well, if you were gonna be here, you would have been here.
Something I can do.
So yeah, there's no more target markers here. Something must have glitched out. Alright. It's over. Complete the mission.
Mission successful.
So, not an ideal way of ending the mission. We did kind of want to, get everything, but it had to be done. Not quite sure what those numbers mean, but we'll go with it. Apparently 0. Yeah, not a bad mission. Well, for the most part, aside from the failure. So everybody came back mostly intact. The Gauss Wolf took a ton of damage to its legs. And apparently we managed to save 1, 2, 3, 4 parts of the quick draw. Centurion CN11OX. It is the Omnimech, yeah. I thought it was a 55-ton Omnimech, but apparently not. Light Rotary 2, that was probably on the Centurion. The MML-10, Streak MML-9, Tag Barrage. Tag Barrage. Take that, please. Of course. Tag Barrage works very much like the Tag Arrow that we used to have, where you target an area, it blows up by bombing. Stealth technology of some various description. We got a couple of other pieces of equipment. Ammo streaks, not particularly interested in any of that. Augmented thunder, I'm also not interested in, besides I have 6 tons of it. I'm not interested in it despite getting hit by it all of the time. I think I have a better stealth system, do I? I don't. Huh. Sure, let's throw it on in there. Stealth technology as well. Whole ton of heat sinks, a couple of fusion cores, none of them any good. Angel ECMs, I'm not in the business of getting light rotaries. 4 parts of the Centurion OX. And 4 parts of that quick draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we got 5 parts of the Hunchback, so that's a possibility. We'll try and grab that. Darn it, we didn't get anything else from the Hunchback line. We did get an MML-10 risk, which is always great. I kind of deliberately didn't want to take them because they're too good, honestly. Angel ECM, not bad. Other stealth technology. We got the Light Rack 2 ammunition, because apparently it takes its own style of ammunition. Really? That seems kind of dumb. But hey, and some other types of ammunition. At least we didn't get flooded by all kinds of random heat sinks, so that's not terrible. So not the best haul in the universe, but definitely not something that I am particularly interested in getting my hands on for various reasons. So yeah, that's definitely got to be a frame rate counter. So once we manage to get back home, we'll be able to launch ourselves on another mission. We've only taken about 25 minutes so far, and lately we've been doing about 45-minute missions, so we should have, without too much issue, managing to finish out something else to do. Although, with that, will probably be the last mission we'll take on this planet, and we'll travel, because we really are kind of running out of stuff. All of the super high-level missions are escorts, and escorts are, frankly, really badly bugged. So I'm not going to bother with any of them. 2 days on the Gospel. That's a really fast repair time. The Thanatos is in 4 days. I'm going to shove him to the repair queue as well. And we'll close that. And we'll march on the clock. I sold a whole bunch of things, which is why we have... There we go. Which is why we have so much cash. Speaking of having so much cash, let's go over to the store, since as long as we've got monies, we may as well try to spend it. So, faction shop, if you please. AMS sensors. Wait, really? Oh. Oh. We might have a chance to do this. You are an AS7 S3. Just want to do a quick check to make sure there's nothing else here that I'm going to desperately want to try and get my hands on. Ultra EC5, Engine XL, none of this. Right. Right, I think we can do this. So first things first, we have 3 parts to the Kraken. I don't know if the Kraken is compatible with it, but I kind of want to find out. So first things first, sell the Hunchback parts. Sell all the Hunchback parts, because I'm going to need a lot of cash for this. That's all of my mech parts. Now we need to sell components, because we need to make like 5 million C-bills, and I'm quite sure where the money's coming from. But we're going to figure it out. Heat systems, because heat systems generally has our fusion cores. I'm keeping the LAM engine. It's a personal thing. I probably should sell it, but I don't want to. Get rid of that. I have 5 275 rated fusion cores. Thank you. Thank you, me, for porting. Grab that. Any more additionals? Heatsink pluses are not all that useful to me. Light engines I can sell. I don't really need them. I've been using Clan XLs. That puts me at a 5. I'm not selling a Clan XL engine. That'd be ludicrous. Suicidal. I can, however, sell 2 of these, because I've got the Radical Protos. Alright, faction shop. I hope this works. By now, we're in bankruptcy again. Go to the mech bay. Please tell me this works. It works! It works! Okay, it's very similar to and likely built upon the chassis of an AS7K, switching out the medium pulse lasers for standard model ones. This has 2 missile hardpoints, this has, and 5 energy. Single ballistic is of course going to be in the hip. Additional small laser. The AMS is installed on the left arm, the Artemis 4. Standard model. The heavy Gauss rifle is reduced to a standard model. Okay, so it's just Gauss rifle would be normal. Alright, I'm going to build this one. 200,000 additional, you better... We have our first 100-tonner. Howl, in the end, did manage to beat out Apollo. So I was wondering about that. I was very curious to see who would make it first, but Howl managed to win the race to the first 100-tonner. okay. Nothing's bloody left. It's all in pieces. It's all in pieces. Okay, so pull everything out. Why would you put gas rifle ammunition in an arm? Yeah, it's all junk. Every last piece of it. It's going to cost me 500,000 sequels to fix the darn thing. But that's okay. What actually got blown up? It was a normal gas rifle? It was a normal gas rifle. A 300 rated fusion core. I don't think I have one of those. Or do I? I think I might have one, actually. Okay, we can rebuild. We can rebuild and repair. So this does have the 2 large missile slots. This will probably be heavy MRM. Back that up with maybe a Gauss rifle and autocannon or some description. Maybe 3 medium lasers to back that one up. Where's our 5th? Oh, 2 in the center torso. I gotcha. So I have a fusion core. That's about the limit of what I can do. And we will be bankrupt. Right. If I don't put the fusion core in, it's cheaper. You know what? It's going to take us 20 days just to get this thing built. That costs $200,000 to remove. It's going to take us 20 days, but we're going to start just the repair process. If I wanted to go full armor, the cost goes up considerably, right? But yeah, we have an Atlas. We have our very first Atlas. Not just any Atlas, but a named Atlas. It's a Kraken. So that carries some weight, at least with me. We still have 3 things in the repair bay anyway. The Marauder and the Screamer, of course. So we can't even really field this thing just yet. And we can't even start repairing this thing just yet. I'm going to save the money on the repairs for now, since we wouldn't be slotting it in anytime soon anyway. But yeah, that's... Oh, that's sweet. That's very, very sweet. Alright, let's go hunt on through. See if we can't find some other things, because we are going to need to sell a lot of kit in order to make this thing work. Oh good, Mockingbird can now handle the wreck. Well, I kind of don't want to put her in it because I'd like her to have a gunnery 10. Mockingbird recently became an assassin, which is great because she read a book on assassinations and lost some experience, but then gained the bonus to gunnery. Omega, I'm saving you for when you actually are going to be used. Lovely. Alright, so our mechs are good, our pilots are good, and as much as I'd love to grab any of these, they're all escorts. And I can't take an escort mission. So we'll grab the last high-level mission, which I'm going to grab for stuff. Because the reason I'm going to grab it for stuff is because I think I'll have a halfway decent chance of being able to steal it. Steal a whole bunch of mech parts. And if I can steal a whole bunch of mech parts, I can sell mechs. And that will generally, well, earn you a lot of cash. So, of course, we want the Gas Wolf, which Howl will drive. We'll bring Kerensky's stick. Back that up, of course, with our brand new Thanatos. And finally, our Avatar. Backing up Bravo Lance is going to be the Lament. We'll bring the Catapult 3, and then the Warhammer. Someday, my little friend, I will construct you. It'll be amazing. Okay, Jester, of course, has to drive the Rakatar, because Jester has... Oh, I thought Jester had a gunnery 10. Oh, he does not. Well, in any event, he's a 9989, so that's still better than the 9888s that we're currently playing with Mockingbird. That means Mockingbird should go into you. I can't believe I put an Engine XL inside of you. There's too many of them. Gotta rip them all out and do something good with them. Yeah, we'll give Mockingbird the Thanatos on that one. Kerensky's stick then can go to... Oh, no, Mockingbird has to drive Kerensky's stick because their gunnery 9 will prevent the MMLs from, or the MRMs from jamming, which means we'll put Paradox in the Thanatos and we'll be able to field that for the first time. Finn will go inside the Warhammer to make up for his poor skills in other areas. Death Crusade can be in the Lament, which means Coach will drive the Catapult 3, the Pulse. Ooh, do I want it? Yeah, that'll be fine. Alright, so we will now be moving. By the way, you may have noticed in the repair queue that we're currently fixing up the Gamma Pod, which is the third of the habitation pods that are on the Argo. The reason why we're doing that is because in order to get the final level of mech control, to allow you to control that 8th mech, you have to have Gamma Pod. So instead of going through the steps of spending a week building up the final bay to drop the mech, but not control the mech, and then buying the control of the mech, but having to get Gamma Pod before that, we're just going to get Gamma Pod first, because anything else spent is worthless, because I'm not going to drop a mech that I can't control. The AI simply cannot handle anything, and I don't want to trust them in any capacity whatsoever, so we will be going through that route. Anyway, Mech Factory. We picked up a coded transmission from the surface of Hoth. Tortugan scouts report previously unknown manufacturing plants has been activated by Curitan forces, and they're broadcasting what we believe might be pre-war blueprints to an unknown recipient somewhere in the system. We need you to move in and capture the facility intact and protect it while we mobilize a garrison. This will be another capture base mission. 5 of 21 priority salvage, 334,000 Seabills, and 3 skulls. Again, we're going to see if we can't go robbing for mechs or fusion cores or anything we can sell, honestly, because we're gonna need a lot of money to build this Atlas. As far as 100-tonners go, Atlases are not great for what we'd be wanting, because we'd prefer to have something that has twin ballistics in the arms, but I'll take what I can get. Alrighty, how far is the factory? Not that far, good. So it'll only be a little bit of a hop on down, assuming of course we're not stuck up here. Rakatar, are you stuck?
Standing by.
Please don't be. Are we all stuck? No, we're not. Okay, you're not stuck anyway. The Rakatar might be stuck.
Affirmative.
If the Rakatar comes up, I will have to deal with that when the time comes.
Right here.
So let's just move everybody away at first, just to see if we can't get ourselves free.
Understood. Moving
And once we do that, we'll figure out if one of my brand new mechs can't actually fight, because that would be really, really bad. And then, of course, we'll just restart the game. I will save you having to wait for the loading screen again if that happens.
No shooting, just running.
But yeah, so Gamma Pod is currently being worked on. And this is our brand new Thanatos, by the way. I suppose I can explain it. It is equipped, of course, with a laser AMS pirate version. That's the one that basically annihilates anything that comes anywhere near it. It's rather cool, actually. It still has a little bit busted textures. It's equipped, of course, with 4 medium lasers, a Risk Silver Bullet Gauss rifle. So this is a heavy Gauss rifle. It's basically field artillery more than an actual Gauss rifle. And then we back that up with an ML25 pack, which has acid SRMs and nothing else. Because I kind of figured we wanted a little bit more fire support when it came to that sort of realm. So hopefully he'll do a good job. Unfortunately, he still is carrying a standard XL engine. This is a very dumb thing, and of course we don't like that. But I didn't have the cash at the time to slam in a better engine. And you're totally stuck. Alright folks, I will see you in just a moment. And landing take 2. Alright, we're back onto the planet. Now we can actually get moving, because it looks like nobody actually got stuck this time. Sumi Ray finally actually managed to get us in a drop position where we can actually engage the enemy with our maximum amount of firepower, because I am not going to leave the Rakatar behind. That mech is going to be fun. It's going to be able to annihilate things. I can feel it in my bones. The only problem is, of course, that it in annihilating things makes it a little less efficient at us trying to capture the universe. Aside from that, from this lance right here, this is a pretty solid lance. I'm kind of feeling the catapult may need a little bit of trimming onto it, but aside from that, I feel that most of the mechs in this lance are probably pretty solidly set up. I am a little bit underwhelmed with the amount of ammunition I currently have on board with the Thanatos, but other than that, most of the other mechs doing pretty fun. The Warhammer, though, is a bit of a sticking point. The Warhammer desperately needs an overhaul. I have been sort of going over different variants in my head and also sort of in the mech lab when I'm off time on this one, just to sort of try and figure out what to do with it. One thought that keeps coming up is I should really lean into attempting to give it even more protection. You need to die, little buddy. Medium range sprinted mode. Yeah, I'm gonna get a lock on you. We're also dealing with the Centurion, but I don't care about the Yellow Jacket. The Yellow Jacket needs to die. Ooh, that's also a bunch of MMLs. I could pick up 2 MML-10s, that'd be great. And you hit it once, but that wasn't good enough. We're going to need better. Anyway, as I was saying, the Warhammer, one of the big overhauls that I thought was leading into the accuracy on the Risk weapons, or on the Gauss rifle, so basically put on a recoil compensator as well as a weapon mount, and that would basically give me +4 accuracy on that gun alone, and then swap in a couple of targeting computers and that sort of thing to kind of fix it up so it could actually accurately hit things. I may move in that direction. I may also try for a total overhaul. The Warhammer platform is really good. That specific Warhammer is also really good, mainly because it is equipped with some pretty phenomenal tech. It has a Royal Double Heatsink kit. The Royal Double Heatsink kit, you hit it both times and it's not dead, but that's still pretty gosh darn impressive considering it was a 30%. My champion. My champion has been found. You're coming with me, buddy. I will move heaven and earth in order to make this happen. Alright folks, we have a primary target and we have a primary captured target. You're all gonna make this happen. Okay, Yellow Jacket's dead. Centurion, I don't care about you. Commander, ignorable. Champion, I'm saving you, little buddy. You're coming with me. I'm gonna rescue you. I know that you're currently in Curitan hands and you were probably stolen, but I'm gonna save you. And an Apollo. Interesting. Yeah, like I said, the accuracy on this, it's just junk. And because it's so junk, I really need to modify it. And I was about to say that I'm going to do all these things to Warhammer, but I'm not going to do that anymore. Because I'm going to modify a champion into a champion. It's going to be great. I've got to save it, though. That's going to be the key here, is keeping this champion alive. Because I, right now, have a company that is more than capable of turning any mech that I want into a slag heap. Oh, and I've got the accuracy to do it too. So I need to make sure that that doesn't happen. And the only way we're going to make sure that doesn't happen is if we're very, very, very careful. Okay, have a little bit of our hag, and then you get all the missiles. Oh, you're not a commando, you're a Whitworth, which means you're a bit heavier than a commando. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do to the champion, but I'm going to try and do amazing things to it. I shouldn't be talking like I've already got it, because I don't already have it. Right. Time to test out a brand new Gauss rifle. Fire. Ba-boom. How much damage did that do around you? Yeah, I'm not sold on it just yet. I'm going to have to sort of play with that silver bullet Gauss. It's heavy artillery. Well, it's field artillery. And the reason why I'm specifically calling it out as being field artillery is because it only fires direct line of sight. And it's really powerful. And it splash damages. Alright, let's go kill a goblin. That is still one of the most satisfying things we've ever done. I love it. The question is, do I sell the Atlas to build? I got an Ostrock off in the corner. You're a 60 tonner. Or are you a 75 tonner? I forget. It doesn't matter. I'm not... I'll save you a little bit so I can steal stuff from you. But my 5 priority is already taken up. And that's why you're here, my buddy. Swarm missiles still manage to get a little bit on in, but the Pirate Laser AMS should be a fairly powerful support system in order to keep us from taking too much damage. If you're not firing proper missiles at me, then, or swarm missiles, you're not getting through. Them's the new rules here. Well, until, of course, he overheats and burns himself out, or jams the gun, which he could. The laser AMS, of course, has an opportunity to not work properly. Incoming autocannon shell, not managing to connect, 60%, and a full and total miss, dug into the dirt. Alright, Death Crusade, bring forth the lament. It is, honest to God, I don't know why it's so good of a sniper. Upper hardened weapon mount. Upper hardened weapon mount. You have built-in hardened, don't you? FCS risk. Yeah, I don't know why it's so gosh darn accurate. I mean, it's just 2 weapon mounts, but... I say that and now it's showing 20s and 30%. Yeah, snipe out that light LRM carrier, please. Okay, don't have to deal with him. We're steadily working our way through the support lands. I don't want to have to worry about them moving into the near future when I move to properly steal my my champion. Really? The accuracy is just bad all around. Oh, this is not a base level champion either. This is a little bit more accurate because it's got an Artemis 4 fire control system on its SRM 6. It's got an LBX autocannon. So that's good. Not your average champion. Twin Gas Rifle managed to hit with one of them despite the bad odds. So that's always making me feel just a little bit good. The Warhammer I kind of doubt though will be able to hit the broadside of anything. Just because of the way it was built. Yeah, missing all things. I gotta get this Warhammer in close to be useful, but I can't get this Warhammer in close to be useful because it unfortunately suffers from a bad case of, well, not being all that quick. So it has to move into a position where it can do some damage, but in order to get into that point, by the time it gets there, the entire rest of the company has managed to annihilate its every target because things like Kerensky Stick and the Rakitar exist. Although I'm kind of surprised the Rakitar is moving so slowly. What cockpit did I give you? Guardian needs some sensor tracker, range finder. Oh yeah, I give you all kinds of support systems in order to make you just a little bit better at that sort of nut job assault type mini thing. Oh, now that's what I'm talking about. Let's go full on Warlord. Did I not click Warlord? I thought I had clicked Warlord, but apparently not. And that's his leg gone, so he's going down to the ground. So I wanted a Warlord just to see if I couldn't kill him in a single round of shooting anyway, but that unfortunately was not to be. He is now on the ground and quite vulnerable though, so I can sort of take advantage of that, and we will rush on forward over here. Am I going to be in SRM range? No. No, this is going to be an LRM only sort of deal if I attempt to do that. But I will start sort of leaning off in that direction a little bit. Probably going to just target the Centurion. I mean, I could target you, but I don't want to. Yeah, given that Centurion, accuracy is not all that good. We'll go for the leg, just in case. Is your problem a medium range target? No visual. It doesn't matter. Go for his leg. It's nighttime, so that's making life just a little... Oh, that's why everything's bad. So, Kerensky's stick has an enhanced imaging cockpit. Right. And that's allowing us to quite easily handle all of the accuracy problems. I understand. We've got 75% of the supporting lance destroyed, 25% of the primary force destroyed. The Ostrock is going to be a little bit of a problem, but nothing too challenging, I don't imagine. I don't think we're going to get an accurate shot right here, but I'm going to give it my bestest.
On my way,
All right, do you have any gear? You do have an enhanced imaging cockpit, so I will activate it. Just in order to give me, yes, significantly improved accuracy. Mr. Whitworth, tell me how this feels.
Go time.
Yeah, I'm not sold by it. I may try and replace that with just normal Gauss rifle. It's weighing like 18 tons, so it's really not having a major effect if I target small area targets like that. I needed to really be shooting at something that's going to be big, big clusters of enemy units. LBX managing to catch the Gauss Wolf with a couple of shots. Nothing too terrible so far. But the Rakatar is about to enter the combat. Do you have a Guardian Sim, which I'm not going to turn off anytime soon. Can I walk you into a good position? Specifically, when I say good position, what I mean is where you won't be shooting your friends in the back. Now I have to run into this position because it actually gets me within a shorter range band, which I can now take some serious advantage of. Speaking of Warlord, I gotta get an actual heatsink kit onto this thing. Okay, you're not dead, which is a little disappointing, not gonna lie. I was kind of hoping that you would explode in tremendous fashion, and I've jammed both of my guns, but that'll give me a round to cool off, which I kind of need. Apollo moving on forward is basically a discount. Whatchamacallit? Archer, which is why it's using the Archer model. A little bit of hits onto the Gauss Wolf, but again, nothing too serious. Apparently we only need to shoot down one so far. Coach, bring the catapult. Can you get to the water's edge? You can. I'm really not happy. Oh, we got a reinforcement lance. I'm really not happy with how close he's playing to him, because that's going to make my life a lot more difficult than it needs to be. I don't want to accidentally shoot him in the back. I wish I had a direct line of sight on you, buddy. I'm going to go for the sensor lock, because I'm going to dump the last of my listen kills over onto this guy. I was hoping to crit you to death, but apparently you don't have an engine in your side torsos. Now we're going to have to go down to the short-range opens. Finn is in the Warhammer, which is kind of the ideal mech to sort of finish him off with all of his his cluster round, which he generally tends to break. So, please die. No engine crit.
Critical hit, Commander.
This Whitworth man is just not dying in the way that I had originally envisioned. I had a dream that a Whitworth would self-detonate and I'd never have to worry about it again, but that did not happen. I'm going to hit the Apollo. Don't miss. Holy crap. You managed to miss literally all 3 shots on a 66% chance on all of them. That was bad. Apparently the Rakatar is cool and he's flushing. Ostrock sort of sneaking up on our side, trying to be super stealthy. You tried, didn't you? You failed.
Hey there.
Could not live with your failure, and where did that lead you? Back to me. I'm gonna shut off the enhanced imaging cockpit. I don't think I need it. Yeah, 96%. Kill him.
Acknowledged. Inflicted heavy damage.
Well, you broke his leg. And he's on his back. I suppose I'll have to work with that. Oh, you don't have a... Right, okay, so I'm thinking we're going to modify this. We may try and throw on a sniper artillery piece. I think it's the same tonnage in the arm, but the Gauss rifle is not really working for me here. Okay, a little bit more light fire coming on towards the catapult, but most of that has been taken care of as the AMS kicks in. Shot down 5 of 6. Part of that is because he's so far behind that it is becoming a bit of a problem. I'm going to ignore the Ostrock for just a little while longer. I know it's not the most brilliant strategy. How much is that torso? Yeah, lasers for you. Gauss rifles for you. So we are going to you and you. So the Whitworth and our Apollo. And not gonna bother with Warlord. Oh my god, this Swiftworth is the most stubborn thing I've ever had to kill.
Standing by.
Alright, the Rakatar is a little bit jammed right now, which is a little less than ideal. I also don't want to turn to, you know, show my side torso to anybody because of the way that this mech works. Center torso, please kill it, Rakatar. We believe in you.
Target acquired.
There we go. Rakatar does not let us down. Are your racks back? Haha, his racks are back. Next round, somebody's dying. Somebody's dying a lot. Gonna start moving in for our capture attempt. So come on into range. That's lovely. Gonna switch over to our incendiary MMLs. Do I Warlord? I do not. Do I multi-target? I do not. Alright, prepare for our capture attempt. So first, of course, incendiary MMLs, which just barbecued him. Instant barbecue. Just add incendiary. Or not MMLs, I've been shooting heavy MRMs. So the heavy MRMs have just managed to boil him. We can do 180 heat with this shoot, which is great. And Kransky's stick is about to take a little bit of fire. By a little bit of fire, quite a lot of fire. Rather cinematic amounts of fire. The AMS managed to knock out 4 of them. We're going to get that thing a little bit closer. The Lament can now move up into a position where it can continue to pressurize you. And do I have any problems with targeting or movement or evasion? No. Blast him. There we go. Now the Apollo's lost an arm.
Critical hit, Commander.
So he's now feeling unsteady, which means he is hyper vulnerable. And I should probably shoot him, but I'm not going to. Somewhere, I believe there are reinforcements, are there? Everything you've gotten to the Apollo. In fact, I'm going to Warlord just to make sure that this Apollo dies. It's only a 55-ton mech. But I'm hoping to turn it into an X-55-ton mech. In any event, it's going onto its back. So, over, please, Mr. Apollo. I don't want to have to deal with you very soon. Coach,
Confirmed.
yeah, your catapult is just going to start the burn here.
Roger that, Commander.
Alright, starting to lay down the jammer effect. Turn on your weapon systems. You're going to switch over to LRMs? No, SRMs, yes. Switch them over to Infernos. Aim for the head. Let's see if we can't start a little bit above barbecue. 155 heat, and he's feeling a tad stressed. As you do. Oh. Oh, am I about to? Oh, don't do that. I want to make sure that I'm moving into the right position before I do this. Yes! Now witness the full power, well, not the full power, but most of the power of this mech. I love it! Oh, this is the most fun mech I've ever built.
Ready to get it on.
It's only a shame I can't build the champion into that same style of build. That's glorious. It's so glorious. The guy's on the ground, completely helpless, and you can't hit the button. There we go.
Enemy down.
Now just a little bit more barbecue needs happening.
Commander?
Bring the Thanatos. Yes, bring the Thanatos up. Don't shoot with the Thanatos, of course. I do want to keep this more or less intact. How's your... Good, you haven't broken it yet. Apparently I have my own weapon systems are unidentified. Alright, Kerensky's stick. Time to bring you on into range. We're going to continue the cooking. At least he's got full armor, because that's kind of important. Incendiaries, and let it barbecue. Pilot bail. Pilot bail. You don't want to be in this mech anymore. Minus 2's initiatives. We managed to unjam some stuff. You're not turning it on. We're going to cook you. We're going to cook you where you sit. And you know it. You know that we can. Just get out of the mech. Get out of the mech, Shinji.
What are your orders, Skipper?
My orders are to get in nice and close so that he fully understands just how screwed he is. And keep targeting his head. And he bailed. The champion is mine. Oh, the champion's mine. It's been so long. I have never had one of them before. I've wanted them. The champion is my favorite mech in BattleTech. You will never convince me otherwise. It is the mech that I love the most. Not that I don't like a whole bunch of mechs in BattleTech, but the champion is mine, for lack of a better term. And so I have been on the lookout for one of these things since it got added into RogueTech from MechWarrior Online. In fact, I have several champions in MechWarrior Online. And I'm looking forward to playing the champion in MechWarrior 5. But I have not been able to get one in RogueTech. I've run into them several times, and every single time I do, it ends up not working out. The champion ends up not being...
I'm picking up a new sensor trace. Looks like enemy reinforcements.
As long as there's no dropship that's landing right there, we'll be fine. But I've run into them several times, and every time I've had to blow them up. And now we had a way of making sure that we could get it. And we did. Ooh, catapult taking a little bit of shots. That's not too terrible. I should be able to move on over and just barbecue everybody you've got. In fact, Kerensky's stick is probably in a good position to move up soon and start the torture. Hunchback as well. So Wolverine and Hunchback. The Hunchback is Swayback? It's the one with the missiles. I don't know if that was 2 LRM-10s or an LRM-20 or something. But we're definitely dealing with 2 LRM-10s. And a second champion? Oh. And a Cataphract. I like Cataphracts. They're cool looking Frankenmechs, but we're going for that second champion because I want to find out if that's a royal champion. Maybe we'll be extra lucky. Do I have a line of sight on the champion? I do not. Switch over to your LRMs, and of course we need to refresh them because that's how that works. 9% is not good enough. He's AC5 and your pair of LRM-10s, a whole bunch of medium lasers. The Cataphract is a fairly interesting one. It is equipped, of course, as you can see, with an Ultra AC-10, a Flamer, a Tag, 2 Rocket 10s, an SRM-6 Irian, 2 ER medium lasers, as well as an Arc Launcher and an AMS. So that's some interesting stuff to have to deal with in the near future. Not right now, though. I am going to just run on through the base, though, because I can. No line of sight, but you'll be in a line of sight next turn, and that'll be great. Death Crusade, however, in the Lament, does have a line of sight, because the Lament always has a line of sight on something. Do you have a hard target? Range target terrain. Target move +8. Whoo, boy, that is one heck of a movement. I can't touch him with it, so you know what? We will just take aim and fire, because why not? It's 20%. Missed all 3, but we're by water. We're going to be moving into the water in fairly short order, and that's going to basically handle, well, if not most, then all of that. And you will also run on through the base, or no, you'll run around. We'll run you around, because the champion went around to this side, and I want to go for another capture. I could fire at you. It would be an 8%. It's not worth it.
Commander.
So Finn in the Warhammer. Warhammer's going to run through the base. In fact, the Warhammer has a target right now. Is this the Hunchback? It is. So I could fire the Silver Blowgas. I'm not going to fire in cluster mode. We've been attempting that too often. Howl's too close, and it's only a 4%. So I don't want to accidentally shoot Howl in the back. That would make Howl very, very irritated at me, and she would probably have some very choice words. Artillery, sure.
Have some of this.
That's why I took it. Even, I don't know if I hit or not, but even if I miss, it causes damage around the location. You are definitely going to go out wide so that you can start getting some interesting angles to shoot on people. 28% over the head of a catapult? No. Because it's a catapult 3 and it does not have a sufficient amount of armor to be able to handle that sort of incoming fire. You're going to rush on forward through the water, which will mean you're totally chill in the way that you operate. Then you're going to lay down a sensor lock on top of the Wolverine. I'm hoping that's a royal. If it's a royal, that gives me the potential to get a PPC as well as a Gauss rifle, but more importantly, it'll have an automatic quirk for 5% heat reduction because it'll have a royal double heatsink kit. Hey, we got a hit on the Wolverine. Lovely.
Skipper.
Coach, your catapult. I don't want to get you too far forward, but I do want to keep pressuring because we have identified the champion. Nope, it is the same champion as before. LB-10X autocannon, 2 mediums, 2 smalls, and an SRM-6. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be a worthy thing to steal anyway, just to sort of make sure that we get all the champions that we could ever want. Gonna lay a sensor lock down on you as well, trying to hopefully make it a lot easier for everybody to kill you in epic fashion. Yeah, have the LRMs. Actually, have the SRMs. Listen, kill SRMs. Accurate, out to range. And a little bit of shaving on the Wolverine. Nothing too serious, though, so far. Wolverine is going to prepare to counterattack. Also, this will give me some redundancy if in case a shuttle or something lands on top of my things. A little bit of LBX autocannons firing at the Lament. The Lament is tough, but it's not something you want to risk too much because the Lament has an Innersphere XL engine in it, and that's just not wise to play with. We will run right around where the dropship is about to drop on top of us. And the accuracy just could not be worse. Oh, it's got to be you and the Cataphract jamming us, isn't it? Don't hit the champion. That's we have to be clear about. Don't shoot the champion. We're gonna get a nice in close with people. We're gonna hurt them. We're gonna hurt them in ways that they hadn't imagined were possible. I'm just gonna run right on through.
Let's go.
Could fire a shell at you, but I would hit the champion. Surprisingly, I have a fairly accurate shot at the champion, but maybe it's not that surprising.
Target confirmed.
See, as you can see, the damage goes all over the place. It's rather fun, actually. The Warhammer will also continue its march on forward as we wait for the most of that fire to die down. Shift a little bit to the side to try and prevent lines of sight from crossing too much. Still, the accuracy is garbage. Oh, that Wolverine or that Warhammer desperately needs a total rebuild. Complete and utter overhaul. Rip everything out, put everything back in. See what ends up happening. Or capture Cataphract. That'd be cool too. I'd like a Cataphract. They're pretty sweet mechs, actually. Just in terms of their whole philosophy and design. They were one of the first original battle mechs that were invented in the 3000s. And they were put together from parts from, I believe, a Marauder and a few other things. And it was basically them not necessarily constructing a mech from whole cloth, but taking good parts of other mechs together and smashing them together. It ended up working out okay. I mean, it's not the most amazing thing in the universe, and you're not exactly going to be blown away by its fantastic build quality or design, but it's useful. Mockingbird, can you continue to bring currency stick on for it? I know there's quite a bit of distance for you to travel. You are a fairly speedy mech despite your size. So we'll just keep on rushing into the Wolverine. I have a fairly decent shot on. So you know what? We're going to go full on. Listen kills. Activate the Hag. Go full on war. I'm guessing it's the delay. Because I'm going to try and click Warlord. But apparently it's firing the weapons. So that's probably because a little bit of lag from the fire. Do you have a line of sight on somebody's back? No, that's a broken line. Can I get... I don't want to shoot through friendlies, that's the problem. This mech cannot afford to have its lines of sight cross friendly mechs. Because if it does, it will kill them. It will kill them bad. So we're going to, hopefully this doesn't shoot the back of the array. Oh, just fill them full of lead.
Target eliminated.
This rack, the Racketar. Only one of them jammed, he's going to be able to continue shooting. He may be now stuck on alternating rounds because I'm not going to let up on these guns. These guns will do decent work. A whole bunch of fires coming in towards the Gas Wolf, not able to connect, luckily for us, or perhaps planned by us. And Death Crusade's up. Death Crusade, of course, in the Lament with its stunning accuracy, or often with stunning accuracy.
What can I do you for?
So we're going to have to see if we can't capitalize on that. Do I get a side angle? No, only on the champion, which I don't want because I don't want to kill the champion. I know. I'm being far... Ooh, that was good. That was all 3 hits on a 48. I'm being a little bit too sentimental with trying to save all of the champions that I can, but when you run into a situation where you potentially can get your hands on some champions, you gotta take it with both hands and hold on tight. And the champion's gonna jump on tight. By the way, if you get that reference, I will be very interested to hear from you. The Warhammer, of course, going to rush on forward. Of course, we want to avoid the dropship landing zone because that's not a game I want to play. I am positive that it's you, isn't it? You've got to have some sort of ECM system. Gyro and a steel. Null sig. Which means if you've got a null sig system, you have to have a... somewhere in here. You have to have some Guardian ECM system. Right there. Okay. So now we know what your deal is. So now we're going to start messing with you. Although I do want to take the Cataphract intact as well. Because that's a lot of good gear. I want to make sure that null sig is on the board. We could steal like a stealth champion. That'd be cool. Hi, buddy. I'm on the side of yours that is not particularly damaged, but I'm going to shoot everything I've got. Unfortunately, I missed with most of what I had.
What's up, boss?
Jester and the Racketar can continue to push on forward. And you do have a line of sight on him, on the Hunchback. And still a 6% chance accuracy. So I'm just going to fill you full of lead. And I think you jammed the gun, didn't you? No, unjammed. They're both back. Oh, so he's just rolling with this one gun. The catapult can basically get on top of you. So I don't know how well this is going to work in terms of cooking.
I'm there.
Oh, it's going to work really, really, really good. 82% accuracy on the Infernos. Plus 140 heat. Mockingbird.
Waiting for orders.
Here's what I need from you, darling. I need you to provide just a little bit of additional heat. And you're gonna have to ask the catapult to duck. Because things are gonna get tight. Oh, yeah, with the Nova CEWS, you don't have a targeting system. Right. Incendiary, incendiary, no Gauss. Cook him.
Target locked.
And that's gonna be 132 heat, a knockdown, and a total torch on this one, yes? There we go. So you're offline. I would like to steal your stuff, because your stuff happens to be really valuable. No, like, seriously, that's a null sig system. That's some pretty valuable stuff. Warlord on the Hunchback as well. We're going to keep the pressure going. Twin Gauss Rifle hits. Or, I think only one of those Gauss Rifle hits, but that'll be fine. Paradox, of course, in the Thanatos will continue to sprint on forward, and he will keep the pressure on. Not you, because we're going to try and save you. As well as you. I will Warlord for the Hunchback. So target Mr. Hunchback off in the corner.
Firing.
Silver Bullet Gauss. Oh, he critted him to death.
Tango down.
Good shot. Yeah, you're not starting up. Buddy, I barbecued you. You ain't turning on anytime soon.
Ready to rock.
Alright, Catapult, of course, going to now go for the full torch. So you have shoot and scoot, indeed.
Here we go.
Pilot bail, that was the plan. Wait for it to calculate, hopefully I'll be able to get into the water. I will be, which means I can now deal with that. Ace Pilot, of course, one of the best abilities in the game. And because I'm going to steal you, you're going to start just maneuvering forward. And hopefully we don't take too much damage. We need to wait until Mockingbird can get a shot, which she should hopefully have soon. But yeah, we're going for pretty heavy capture attempts on this one.
Need something.
I mean, even the Ostrak, we might get our hands on some decent capture gear. I'm going to rush you on in to make sure that your AMS is currently covering us. His Pirate Laser AMS should protect us from all 6 of the missiles that the champion is capable of shooting out. I think replacing those with MRMs might do us some good. So that'll probably be one of the designs we could end up going for. Maybe an Ultra Autocannon? It'd have to be like an Ultra Autocannon 10, unless I really wanted to really build in towards more of an aggressive Ultra Autocannon 20 or something, which I don't think I have. But yeah, we'll figure it out. It's going to be great. At least I think it's going to be great. I have an obstructed back shot, but I'll take what I can get. Oh yeah, I will take that. Incendiaries, let it fly. Okay. Okay, there was a bit of a cluster ammunition explosion on that one. So maybe we don't take that one intact. But hey, mission complete. Alrighty, so that ended up working out really well. We ran into quite a few great mechs. We managed to torch several of them. Not all of the ones that we wanted to torch, but the important ones. And I know that we have explicit missions that we want to fulfill. We have certain pieces of equipment that we want, but on this one, heart's going to trump head. And I am going to go for what I know my heart desires, what I've been hunting for these many, many episodes across multiple campaigns. They come in multi-pack. Thank you, game. Thank you so much. So that is going to be 6 parts to a champion. The Cataphract also cometh in multi-pack. Yeah, we're definitely doing that. So we'll lock that down with all of those pieces. Maybe we'll get that last Cataphract part. 1, 2. The Cataphract part has disappeared. Okay, that happens from time to time. So obviously it vanished from the menu. But we did manage to get 4 parts to a Cataphract, a part to an Ostrak, 6 parts to a champion. We'll sell one of them. An Apollo part, as well as a Whitworth part, which, you know, we've just made 42,974 million C-bills, or 42,974,000 C-bills, so that's not bad. We got the Null Sig, which is great. So that's pretty much it. Oh, and a 300 rated fusion core, which I was going to unfortunately have to take my last one. We have now an additional to build this out of. Okay, that went about as well as you could possibly ever hope for. So, yeah. Okay, the only thing that could have gone better is if the Whitworth part had instead rolled up the random part from the Cataphract. And we would have built both mechs, and that would have been amazing. I would probably at that point sell off the Burnaboy as well as any other medium mechs that we had. We would go with a full, well, maybe not the Catapult, but one of the Catapults maybe. And then we would have gone basically full heavy mech company. Aside from, of course, from the Catapult. For the Catapult's replacement, what we're going to need to find is something in the 60 to 70-ish tonnage range, something light enough to be able to move really fast, that has missile slots in the arms. And we'll just move up for a bit better protection. Okay, invalid mission from the last one that we ended up doing, but that's fine. 17,655. Oh, today was a good day. It was a very, very good day. Quick check on the store. Just need to double check to make sure that we're not missing any sort of really cool gear before we go crazy about building stuff. Mechs? Mech parts? No mech parts at all. Light Gauss Rifles, completely ignorable. Most of this stuff is junk. I have enough of those. Swarm Heavy MRMs. Yes, please. Acid Heavy MRMs would be preferred. Ammo Plasma.
New equipment available.
Deadfire Thumpers. How much Deadfire ammo? I had like a ton. I have a lot of tons. Rack Double ammo. I'm gonna buy all you got. Alright. Maybe not the best plan ever, but sensor trackers are a bit too expensive. Alright, we're down to 500,000 C-Seals, but we managed to do it. Champion 1 and 2. Ready it. From 5 parts in storage. During the Star League, when the Champion 1M was in full production, there was a frequent pilot modification that turned into a production variant. This mech, the 1N2, is exactly the same as the 1N, with the exception of the heat sinks, which have been upgraded to doubles. In all the respects, the 1N2 is the same as the 1N. Okay, now we're going to sell everything else. So we sell the random 1M part. We sell the random 1M part that we have, because we don't need it anymore. Ostrox, I have no interest in Ostrox. The Whitworth, of course not. And as much as it's going to pay me to do it, not the Apollo, of course. We're going to get rid of the Apollo. I'm going to get rid of the Cataphract parts also. So it's not any super special version. I mean, it is the one with the null sig, but we got the null sig out of it. So we'll sell that, and that'll get us back into the green. Show me my champion. Oh, it's in pieces. It's in pieces. And also, there's a really weird arm thingy going on here. Refit it. Show me what we got. Okay. Things are not good in Terrorist Town. Yeah, that's about as many pieces as you can ask for. So it normally has a 300 rated fusion core, and we're going to do exactly that. But we're going to throw in a clan fusion engine to go with it. But this is going to be sort of my treat, because we've got my champion and I'm feeling great. I'm going to show off sort of what I plan to do with it. I'm going to go with a radical heatsink kit because of the additional protection that it gives, which is just amazing. We're also going to make sure that we throw in the XL clan. We're going to go in and throwing in an XL gyro is not exactly on the high list of things that I want to do, because I have 2 energy slots in this. I've got 4 ballistic, 4 energy, 1 missile, 1 support, and the support is in the center torso as well, which is less than ideal. But what we'll probably end up doing is we'll try and grab either some form of a fairly powerful ultra autocannon, maybe even a rotary. We could throw on a rotary AC5. We have the clan version. It's not as good as the Risk one, but that is a thought. Could start being in the market looking for a lot of things. I can throw in a heavy Gauss rifle. That is possible on this build. It is fast enough to do it. So that's 150 damage right there. If we back that up with where my rest of my stuff? Lasers. Give me 1, 2, 3. I could throw in an integrated laser AMS, but I'm not going to do that. So for energy, the heavy Gauss rifle, I'd like to go with an MML, just as a full-on backup. But we're going to see what we can sort of get out of this first, because I do need some ammunition in this thing. We of course need to go to our Gauss, and we need to go to our ammo Gauss heavy double. That'll give us a little protection. I may actually end up going with 2, but we're down to 5.5 tons. We're perfectly fine on the heat. We don't really care about that just yet, but we haven't even added endo steel or ferrofibers just yet. So we have clan ferrofibers too, which is great. So throw on the endo steel, throw on the, could go null sig. Could we go, yeah, we could definitely do null sig. Or I could get like a heavy MRM involved on this build as well. So we've got 9.5 tons remaining. Ooh, that may be a good idea. Right. A little bit surprised, by the way, that they don't have support slots on the outer arms, because that's where the AMS slots are located on this mech when you're actually playing MechWarrior Online. So here's the thought that's coming to my head, and this may end up actually working. We go to SRMs. We have a heavy MRM 40. It weighs 12 tons. That might be a bit much, because what we'd have to do is we come over here and then we go into support gyros. Yeah, just shy of being able to throw in a heavy MRM 40 into the mech. Right. We could throw in a heavy MRM 30, but we'd be really limited on ammunition, which I think might not be quite what we're looking for. By the way, do I have just a normal MRM 40? I don't even have a normal... so the answer is a Risk MML 15. Take out the Gyro XL. Give me back my laser. Give me back my gosh darn laser. Or, of course, you know, we could throw in like a plasma gun. That was another thought, throwing in a plasma rifle. So we go into lasers. Give me back my medium laser. I need some ammunition for this MML 15. I have enough space for it, which is lovely. So we come, of course, to ammunition for SRMs. Acid rounds. Let's see, I go through 100 shots. That'll be 10 rounds of shooting. And then maybe some Infernos. Or tandems. Ooh. A couple of tons of tandems would be great. But that would be... I would have no good accuracy missiles. I would also like to get a little bit more armor. We'll keep up with the acids. Or maybe some heat. No, this mech needs some armor. As you can see, it's not well armored. It is very poorly armored. Because that was basically the thing about champions. They were meant to be high-speed, aggressive mechs that could get stuck in it, but not really last in it. So they were your cavalry mechs. They'd go and they'd harass and they'd harry targets and they'd be all over the battlefield, but they wouldn't be on the front lines of that battlefield. And because of that, as you can see, it becomes a little bit difficult to... Can I get up to max armor? 80. Ooh. Can I get one more point? Alright. So, not positive on this acid just yet. Could throw on just a double ton of standard SRMs. Also, we still need to equip it with several other things. Clearly, it's going to need an internal version of an electronic countermeasure system. I can't do any more weight savings unless I go with an ultralight gyro, but I really, really, really don't want to do that. Ultralight gyros are smaller, which allow us to take up less space, gives me more center torso space, but you take additional 20% stability and you have only 30 as compared to 40 stability threshold period, which is just too dangerous. You can't risk that. Could go with a gyro defense, turn it into something just a little bit more difficult to kill. Well, part of me actually wants me to go into and make it so that I can run this thing full stealth. I need to shed 1 1/3 tons. Which honestly comes from this risk. It is 4.5 tons. If I went down to an SRM 6, I could have that no problem. You know what? Let's go down to... We'll pull off the Clan Pharaoh. We go down to weapon, SRM, risk of ML 10. Right, that's where all my weight savings went, which still leaves me open with some slots, but I'm going to need an electronic warfare system. Which becomes a bit of a problem. Because what I want to do is nullsig, but the nullsig won't go on without an ECM. So we're going to need some sort of electronic countermeasure. What's the lightest one you got? Because I'm not going to need 2 tons of this anymore, so I've got 1 ton worth. So do I have any ECM system that is a single ton? Don't think I do. 1.5 tons. Do I have... I do not. I was about to look for any sort of patchwork materials, but we just don't have any. Because the lightest thing I've got, unfortunately, is not a warfare suite, but the Guardian ECM. In order to fit Guardian, I've got to find 0.3 tons. Which I suppose I can find out of my arms. Okay. So we have a Guardian in there. And then we back that up, of course, with an LSIG. Not enough free slots? What? Oh, the double ton of ammunition. Right? Yeah. Right, so I've got to find a better place for this double ton. I don't like cramming it all into the same location, but I think I might have to. Because the nullsig takes up a mandatory slot in all your side torsos, so we can't quite fit in this double ton, but I suppose that'll be okay. I'm not happy about it. It's a very full side torso. And this may not be the final version of the build. As you can see, this is going to cost over $2 million to build. We are already outside of our funds. But just thoughts and playing along with things. Could go with the flak. I do like that fire control system flak, unless I've got a fire control system Gauss rifle, in which case I could throw that on. Throw the rangefinder for a bit more gunnery. Do I need it? I don't. I don't need the gunnery bonus because the heavy Gauss rifle doesn't jam. So if this was like a Risk Rack 5 or something, then that would matter a little bit more. But I'm not all that worried about it jamming or breaking. And it hits for 150 per hit. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be the most amazing thing. Then I need a comm suite, perhaps. Increase the resolve. And +1 tactics. Slick suite for the enhanced sensor range. Yeah, that might actually be a good idea. Slick suite on that one. And the life support system, and the sensor system, which we need I think I want a sensor's range, so this will give me no minimum range, basically, and then gives me a 10% on all range brackets, which will help the heavy Gauss rifle. So that'll... Or sensor recon. Sensor recon gives me... reduces sensor checks by 1, and the sensor suite does not. You know what, I'll go recon. Right. And this would basically be the build. We generate 60 for 59, so we're pretty much heat neutral in a normal level environment until we turn on the nullsig. The risk MML 10 gives us some serious SRM firepower. I'm a little bit light on it, which I'm not super happy about. We were able to armor it up quite a bit, but this would be a little bit more of an aggressive, getting close and beat the living crap out of them build. We could actually build this in several other ways. I mean, we've got the tonnage right here. This could fit into Ultra Autocannon 5s, which would be, you know, 45 damage times 2 per, so we're looking at 180 damage out of that, and it would lay way less. So we could throw in something like that. We have options for, say, PPCs. This is obviously not going to be an ideal mech, obviously, because it doesn't have arm-mounted weapons, so all of these arm locations are totally pointless. But yeah, you can build this thing into a lot of different gear. But we're going to strip the equipment. We're going to just start getting it fixed, because there's, frankly, I'll keep the medium lasers on, because I will probably be using them. So yeah, that'll be, give me a cooling system. Yeah, give me the Radical Proto. Or not the Radical Proto. Yeah, there's the Radical Double. As well as the 300 Radiant Fusion Core. Because that... it's 400,000, but that'll start the ball rolling on this. You know, no, we'll just fix it. It's gonna cost us 324,000 C-bills, but you know what? It is gonna be ready eventually. My champion will ride, and it will be fun. I'm gonna make this mech work. If I have to rip every single one of my other mechs to pieces, I'll do it. So the pulse pulse, you're on notice. I could just go like 4 large pulse lasers. I could absolutely do that. It'd be pretty fun. But yeah, now that we've spent a little bit extra time on things, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you folks very much for watching. We managed to get our hands on a Kraken, as well as my personal champion, which I've been on the lookout forever. So I'm super happy about that. We are almost back into solvency, so we'll have to take one more mission or another couple of missions on this planet before we travel elsewhere in order to find more fortune and glory. And we're well on our way to building Gamma Pod, which will allow us to get our 8th mech drop. So 16 days for that, another 8 days for the construction of the Leopard dropship, additional bay, and then like another week in order to finish up the control, and then like another week in order to finish up the additional tonnage, which I don't think we're quite using just yet. But yeah, we are getting close. Anyway, I've been Tyrak. If you like what I'm seeing, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to receive a notification every time I post one of these videos. Press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and make sure that you do join us for the streams on Wednesday and Saturday as we play through Apollo's Vipers, a wholly different campaign because it started in the middle of a clan space, and we're currently blasting our way through most of the challenges out there with our Gaussler, a 90-ton mauler that we turned into a special mech with 4 Gauss rifles for the additional fun. And I will see you all in the next episode.